In Lesson 13, we spoke in broad terms about the marks of the church, telling, celebrating, doing, and being the Christian story. The signs that the Spirit is alive and well in the Christian community. We need to look now more closely at some of these specifics, especially the aspects of the church that are puzzling or even controversial.
Gabe, could you say a little more about the doing aspect of church life? It gets complicated and can be very controversial.
Yes, indeed. Someone described it once by telling the story of a small town that sat at the foot of a hill. The town had a problem. A road circled around the hill, and on weekends, cars would race up and down the hill. Sometimes it would be a terrible tragedy. A car might not make the curve at the top, and there would be a crash, and the car would tumble down the hillside. And there were different schools of thought in town as to what could be done. One group said, we have to build a hospital in town to take care of the accident victims. A second group said, no, we need warning signs and a big fence at the top of the hill to prevent the cars from going over in the first place. A third group said, the problem starts with the drivers themselves. We have to have a driver training program in high school. Well, there you have it. The different views that we have as to what the church should do, how it should act in mission and outreach outside the doors of the church in terms of deeds of mercy and justice. The first group wanted to build a hospital. These are the folk who believe in social service, that the church does works of mercy for victims after disaster strikes, the care of the hungry and the homeless and the war-weary and the needy and the aged and the sick, the victims of all sorts of tragedies, offering services, creating benevolent institutions, all of this after the hurt happens. The second group of people who want to put the signs and a fence up are those who believe in what we would call social action. They want to prevent the hurts from happening in the first place by addressing the causes of hunger and homelessness and war and oppression, dealing with the structures of society, changing the social, economic, and political conditions that create misery. The third group, who want to change the driver's attitudes and habits, is made up of the folk who stress individual change. They believe the church can help by educating and by personal conversion, and therefore they put the stress there rather than on the other two approaches. Are these three approaches mutually exclusive? Of course not. We need all three for a total mission of doing in the world.